sister. There's 50 grand in this case. Could you tell him that?
Mr. Gentry's very busy. You'll have to take your turn with the rest. Good morning, Mr. McClintock.
See, my appointment is at 9 o'clock. It's 1/2 now. I've got some very important engagements.
Mr. Gentry will see you as soon as he possibly can. Mr. Gentry, hadn't you better see Mr. McClintock? He's breathing hard. Mr. Moran seems to be quite anxious to give you $50,000. Madam's dog is getting nervous, and you've got to be in court in half an hour.
Fascinating. Those insects. The so-called human race. They don't look like porch climbers, murderers, and wife-beaters from here. You wouldn't think those harmless-looking little doodle bugs were full of greed and lust and all the 7 deadly sins. Now, I often wonder, Miss Keeley, why people go on living. Intelligent people, I mean.
Shall I send out for some bicarbonate of soda? You haven't much time for moods this morning. You've got to be in court, you know.
I don't want to go to court.
Now stop it. You'd like it, wouldn't you, if they sent that nice Mr. York to the electric chair simply because you had a little stomachache at the wrong time?
I wish, Miss Keeley, you'd stop referring to my philosophical flights as stomachaches. As for that nice Mr. York, the electric chair is much too good for him. I don't know why I took the case, except it was so completely hopeless.
Mr. Gentry, you've got to make your closing speech to the jury this morning.
Always saving somebody's life. So abominably clever at solving other people's troubles. So half-witted when it comes to my own.
What's the matter?
Carmen Brown, Carmen Brown.
I thought so. Of course, what I don't understand, Mr. Gentry, is... Well, never mind.
Go ahead, say it.
Why don't you just tell her that you don't love her anymore and get it over with?
I called on Miss Brown last night with that happy notion in mind. And ended up in such an epidemic of kisses, vows, promises. It's discouraging. You know, leaving a woman, Miss Keeley, is a long and desperate process, like wrestling with a piece of flypaper in a high wind.
The trouble is, you're too nice.
Thank you, Miss Keeley. But fortunately for yourself, I've never been in love with you. So you've only seen my best side. In love, I am a monster.
You don't expect me to believe that.
I begin where sensible men leave off. Hand-holding and what goes with it doesn't seem to be enough. I have to pull them apart and see what makes them tick. Overwhelm them with attentions, absorb them. With the result that when I show signs of leaving some little thing, she acts like 65 wives. Why can't I find some interest other than women? Something normal, like poker or running for Congress. Then I'd never be in trouble.
Well, I certainly wouldn't worry about Miss Brown. She's no little Bo Peep, from what I gather.
Miss Keeley.
After all, you took her away from Mr. White.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
And I'm sure she loved him just as much as she pretends she loves you.
What is it?
Miss Brown is here.
Why didn't you answer? Tell her to come in.
That's what you should think about when you call on her.
That's not a bad idea.
What?
Eddie White. Eddie White.
Hello, darling.
Oh, hello. What are you doing up and around at this hour and in my office?
Don't be late for court, Mr. Gentry. You forgot something last night.
What?
Your lucky piece.
That old Mexican peso.
You're going to need it today.
Well, you didn't have to get up and come tearing all the way downtown just for that.
You know you would have lost the whole case without it. Probably been run over, too. I gave you that to keep, not to leave around on couches.
You're a superstitious little savage. Now, you run right back home and finish sleeping, my dear.
Oh, I hate you when you call me my dear.
My legal side is entirely without passion. And, darling, I am very late.
Don't you love me this morning?
Yes.
Order, please. Silence.
And, gentlemen, 4 reputable men have sworn they were with the defendant between the hours of 2 and 3, William Cormac was murdered at 2:35 that afternoon. We know that a bullet from the murderer's gun hit the clock in the hall and stopped it at 2:35 p.m. There is the clock. It speaks to you. It says, William Cormac was murdered at 2:35.
Who put that bullet there? Why wasn't it discovered by the police until after Mr. Gentry was retained in this case?
A fair question. You gentlemen saw the police lieutenant who searched the apartment, that pearl among detectives, Mr. Lieutenant Norton. You may remember that when I put him on the stand, he didn't know what day of the week it was. And as for his powers of observation, I closed my coat and asked him to tell you what color necktie I was wearing.
Listen, you pot, Your Honor, are you going to allow the state's witnesses to be ridiculed in this manner?
An innocent man's life depends on whether the state's witnesses are credible or not, Mr. District Attorney.
Make your points in your rebuttal, Mr. O'Brien.
That clock was the only witness to the crime. A gentleman. If the criminal negligence of the police had not been exposed by the discovery of that bullet hole, an innocent man might have been sent to the electric chair. Who can say that Providence does not watch over the innocent? I am allowed 20 minutes more. I could bore you with the ranting resume of the state's preposterous case, but I am unwilling to deprive you of a rare intellectual treat, Mr. O'Brien's closing speech. That is sure to be a performance you would pay money to see in a theater. A little lacking in logic, possibly somewhat shaky on fact, but melodrama, oh boy. And while he shakes his fist and pulls his hair and calls on you in that dramatic voice of his, the state demands that you deal out death to this ruthless murderer, this monstrous being.
Your Honor, what kind of a farce is this?
If learned counsel for the prosecution uses that tone of voice, why can't I? Gentlemen, while the state demands that you send this devoted father and husband to the electric chair to burn, I ask you to do only one thing. Keep your eyes on that clock. Thank you, gentlemen. Your Honor, the defense rests.
Silence. The state will proceed with its rebuttal.
You ain't going, are you?
Mr. O'Brien bores the pants off me.
Suppose they find me guilty.
Don't worry, Butterfingers.
Gentlemen of the jury, you have just listened to the most unscrupulous defense ever offered in a murder trial.
Have they reached a verdict? What happened, Mr. Gentry? Why are you leaving?
I was afraid I might cramp Mr. O'Brien's style.
How about a picture? I'd like a statement, Mr. Gentry.
After the verdict,
This is about
boys.
something else. The Bar Association has recommended the grand jury investigate your conduct in this case.
Yes, in what respect?
Well, it seems they've adopted some resolutions, the gist of which is that Lee Gentry is no better than some of the murderers he defends.
I would say there was a slight difference.
Would you mind explaining that to some of our backward readers?
Well, speaking offhand, a murderer takes a life and I save one.
You don't hold with the old-fashioned idea that murder's a serious crime, punishable by death?
I thought you were a friend of mine, Clark.
A good newspaperman can't afford friends like you.
Nor enemies like me.
Mr. Gentry, if I were to say pretty please, would you give me a statement?
Anything for a lady. I'll give you two statements. The first is the only crime punishable by death is stupidity. Some of you ought to be glad there isn't a law. Not you, my dear. The second is I don't care a hoot for bar associations, churches, banks, and all the other lame duck institutions that try to keep society from falling apart. You call me the champion of the damned. Well, I am. All the twisted hearts, the hopeless, desperate creatures whipped by your so-called society into crime, these look to me for help. In reply to the Bar Association, it is their cry I answer, and always will.
The grand jury is going to read this, Mr. Gentry.
Oh, in that case, please add that I consider that supreme body a group of illiterate, ineffectual nincompoops with the combined courage and mentality of an amoeba.
Fine talk, Gentry. It'll be pretty tough on you if you slip.
Don't worry, buddy. I won't slip. Sorry I'm late, Kitty. I cut my hour to the jury to 10 minutes. All for you, dearest. Order for me, Emil. Something light and a double martini. What about you, darling? What's the matter, sweet? Headache? That's very becoming. New powder, darker shade, isn't it? Waiter, the flowers.
Coming, Mr. Gentry.
Now, that unfriendly look reminds me of Joe, number 8. I had a nasty time with him.
They are very unusual, sir. May I ask what they are called?
Christmas roses. They only bloom with the snow. Somewhat like yourself, my dear. They go with your heart of ice and your eyes like green enamel.
You have a pretty way of expressing your feelings.
Swinburne described you better. Cold eyelids that hide like a jewel, hard eyes that go soft for an hour, the slender white limbs and the cruel red mouth like a venomous flower, Dolores, my lady of pain. Katie, I love you. I need you.
Wait a minute.
Pardon me, sir. Your office just called. The verdict was not guilty.
Oh, thanks. Hickory dickory dock. The jury ran up the clock. Well, my dear, another of my clients is roaming the streets, a free man. The 30th fascinating miscarriage of justice of which I have assisted. That bullet in the clock was a simple but masterly touch.
Lee, why have you been lying to me?
About what?
About Miss Carmen Brown.
Oh, dear. Well, let's have it.
You said you were completely through with her, that you hadn't seen her in a month, and you were never going to see her again.
And?
You've seen her nearly every night this week. You've sent her flowers, you've called at a nightclub and taken her back to your flat.
Oh, Katie, please.
Don't lie to me, because I know it's true.
It's all terribly true.
Then that long-winded novel about what you said and what she said, and how it all ended, lies.
Oh, Katie, I live by lies, make money by lies. I've become famous by lying.
It's nice to have known you.
Now listen to me. Katie, even after you've grown to hate a woman, you can't pick up your hat and go. You've got to do it like a gentleman. I don't know why.
Why do it at all? I'm sure you're better off with her. Happier.
Now, Katie, don't talk like that. I'm so crazy about you that Carmen's become something horrible to me. Every time I see her, I have to keep it out of my voice, my eyes, my hands. This hatred, this wanting to turn on her and yell. But Katie, it can't be done that way. I don't want to leave a woman behind whose grief is going to be a beggar pulling at our elbows.
It's no use, Lee. I don't belong in a love triangle with newspaper pictures and shrieks and hair pullings. So, let's leave it at that and part now as friends. Goodbye and good luck.
No, don't say that. I've been upside down. This case, bullets and clocks, grand jury threats. But I've got nothing to do now but one thing. Don't worry about Carmen Brown. I'll get rid of her.
Casita tan blanca y bonita, qué triste que está. Me prestarás tus ojos morenos del alma, los llevo que miren allá. La casita tan blanca y bonita, qué triste que está. Los potreros ya están sin ganado, toditito se ha acabado. Ay.
Well, you could have heard a pin drop at my exit. They're certainly sitting on their hands tonight. Recent Monday. Those dopes don't want to see art. Only flesh. Listen, Carmen. If you want to get mad at Mr. Gentry, not me. I didn't want to go out with him.
Oh, never mind.
he kept twittering it was something very important about you. So I consented.
Carlos, váyase, por favor. Quiero hablar con él.
Está muy bien, muy bien. Adiós, Ana.
Adiós. What else did he ask you?
Well, mostly where you was Sunday night.
He knows where I was Sunday night. He knows I was home.
That's exactly what I told him. I said, Mr. Gentry, I wouldn't lower myself listening to your insinuations. Furthermore, I am amazed that a gentleman of your brains should stoop to being jealous like a common hoofer.
He's gone crazy.
Listen, Toots, between friends, is there any particular reason for Mr. Gentry's sudden attitude? I mean, have you been absent-minded once or twice with somebody else? Well, if he's going to keep on cross-examining me, I ought to know.
You know me better than that. He's nagged me to a point where my brain is hanging by a thread. All these sudden moods and accusations.
What do you take it from him, then? After all, what right has he got? I know that kind of fella better than you, honey. He wants to make a slave of you, free. That college professor who claimed I was getting enough out of him in the way of education. Claimed it improved my mind. Eddie White may have had his faults, but he was a man who observed all your birthdays, and Christmas and Easter's even. Whereas I have yet to see the slightest token of regard for Mr. Gentry, except that photograph. And that other one with a side view.
There are more important things.
I know. He's mumbling to you about marriage in the distant future, and you fall for it. Carmen, you were the smartest girl I knew once.
He's never been like this before. He upsets me so I don't know what to do.
I'll tell you what to do. You give Mr. Snoops, the lawyer, the air before you lose all your character and turn into one of these housewife types. I'm telling you from the heart, honey. I know men inside out.
See who it is.
It's the doorman.
You want to see a fellow named Eddie White?
Eddie, Eddie. Oh, think of the devil.
What do you suppose he wants? Hello, Eddie.
Hello. Hello, Buster.
Well, if it isn't Mr. White. Well, very glad to have seen you again, Mr. White. But Itty Bitty Buster's got to go wave her diapers. The big man's out front. See you later.
So long, Buster. Well, you haven't changed.
You look pretty well yourself. Well, Eddie, I've got to go on in a minute. What do you want?
Nothing. Not a thing. I guess I must have made a mistake. Oh, don't look like that. Don't look so nervous. I didn't bust in here with any notions of old lang syne. I was reading the want ads this morning, and I happened to run across this little ad in the personal column in the morning journal. Third one down. My common sense told me it wasn't you, but... Well, the E.W., important, signed car, I thought... Never mind, forget it. I just showed it to you because I didn't want you to think I was crowding in where I wasn't wanted. You know, I said once I never wanted to see you again, and it still goes. And the rest of the things I told you when I walked in on you and Mr. Gentry, that still goes, too.
Are you really down to reading the want ads, Eddie?
What's it to you?
That vignette that was always breaking down. You didn't lose everything.
Yeah? You sold out just in time, kid. Well, so long.
Eddie, wait. I know how you feel about me. I don't blame you. You can keep on feeling that way. That bracelet you wouldn't take back once might come in handy now. It's no good to me. I can't wear it. For reason.
No, thanks. I haven't gone in for charity yet.
But it's yours, Eddie. You bought it. I hate to see you like this, honest. Where can I reach you?
You're on next, Miss Brown.
Let me send it to you. It'll make me feel so much better about everything else.
Bread on the waters, eh? Okay, Santa Claus. 612 West 59th Street.
Thanks. I'll send it to you. 612 West
59.
Thanks, Carl.
Goodbye.
I phoned you the minute he got here. Thanks. He's in there now. Well, Eddie White. I'm quite a stranger.
Hello, Gentry.
Renewing old acquaintances in the theater.
In a way. I was just calling on your girl.
No need to be so tough about it.
Did you put an ad in the personal column of yesterday's journal?
No. Why? Do you mind if I roll one, too? I used to be able to do this with one hand.
That's all.
Still living at West 59th Street, Eddie? 612.
Why?
Well, I hate going down the years as the Spaniard who blighted your life. What do you say we shake hands? What I hear, you need friends. Maybe something I can do for you sometime.
There's only one thing you can do for me, Gentry. Give me a chance to slap that smirk off of your face. Just once.
Yes? Better get over that feeling.
There's your ad.
Hey, what's the idea? Come on, throw that.
Let him alone, boys. I can take care of him. Buenas noches, muchacha.
Lee, how long have you been here?
Just came in this second.
Oh, darling, I'm so glad. Only I thought you had to take those people to the theater.
I had to see you, Carmen.
Well, I hope you're in a better mood than last night.
Please, don't mention that jealous brainstorm I had. I just got over it an hour ago. In the theater. I knew there wasn't another man. Couldn't have been. So I came over to apologize. Forgive me.
Oh, you're so nice and sweet. So sweet. No kiss? Lee, what's the matter now?
Forgive me. My analytical mind again.
What's it working on now? I kissed you too soon? I didn't kiss you soon enough? I turned my eyes away? Oh, you're driving me crazy.
You said something a minute ago.
I said something?
Why did you ask how long I'd been here?
I was surprised to see you.
Surprised or frightened?
Oh, no. We're not going to have that all over again. There's no reason.
Oh, yes, there is. You forget it's my business to see through people. Their attitudes. Their acting.
What am I acting about now?
I don't know. Something. Whose cigarette is that?
I don't know. People come in and out all the time.
Still burning. Who's been here in the last 15 minutes, Carmen?
Carlos?
Who else?
Buster.
And how long has Buster been rolling her own?
Lee, please don't start that. There's been nobody in here. I haven't even spoken to him. And that's what you're still driving at.
Yes, that's it, exactly. Why don't you tell me the truth? It saves time. There's something on your mind. I've known it for a week. I've heard it in your voice. I've seen it in your eyes. It's there now.
What are you trying to get at?
The name of the lucky fellow who hangs around here while you're getting dressed, while I'm supposed to be tucked safely away in some theater.
You can't insult me like that. I won't let you.
Let's see. Who do I know that rolls his own cigarette? Eddie White. And I came here to apologize for my stupid suspicions. Eddie White. Of course, he's come back. You're seeing him again, letting him make love to you, stir the ashes, waken the old embers.
Please stop it!
What have we here? An address, written in lipstick. Exhibit B. Whose address is that?
I don't know.
May I refresh your recollections, Miss Brown? Eddie White, my amorous predecessor, was in here. Tears, memories, embraces. He strained you to his bosom and broke the pencil point in his vest pocket. You were reduced, therefore, to a lipstick to write.
He never touched me.
Then he was here.
Yes? Lee, I haven't set eyes on him in 2 years. He read an ad in the paper, thought that I'd put it in, that I wanted to see him.
And of course you didn't.
No, you've got to believe me.
Why did you lie to me then? Why did you say you hadn't seen anyone, not even spoken to a man?
I didn't want to tell you. You've been acting so crazy lately. And Lee, he stayed only a minute. Buster was here all the time. Ask her. I hurried him off. I swear to you, I've got no interest in Eddie White. He's dead. Dead.
Your handwriting. You were afraid he'd call on you, so you thought you'd go to him.
That's not true.
Well, it's poetic justice. You did it to him, now you're doing it to me. Once a two-timer, always a two-timer.
You can't talk to me like that.
Why not, my pretty cheat?
Get out of here.
I'll get out.
Dirty-minded fool. I'm sick of listening to your filthy accusations.
Never mind the epithets. You don't have to swear at me to get rid of me. You and your two-timing little chorus girl's heart.
I never want to see you again. Never, never as long as I live. Get out before you drive me crazy. Get out.
Goodbye, cheat.
What are you crying about? Is it because Eddie White gave Mr. Gentry a sadly needed smack in the face?
What?
Didn't he tell you? On his way in here, he ran into Eddie White. And, oh, Mama.
How long ago?
When you were on stage. So he kept it a secret. Well, that's rich.
He saw Eddie before he came in here. Oh, the swine. Pulling that seed. Faking. Oh, I'll fix him.
Are these all law books?
Yes,
And you've read every one?
some of them 20 times.
Well, I'll stick to detective stories.
These are all one continual detective story. The criminal versus society. What a cast. Swindlers, scoundrels, scallywags, murderers, and their battle royal with the law.
Give him quite a respect for the law, all these books.
Quite the contrary. In those volumes, my dear, you will find loopholes for every crime. It's a wonder to me that anybody ever goes to jail. They wouldn't if there were more good lawyers.
Like you?
Yes. Here's to the courts of justice, of rigmarole and writ, where poised and prim and particular society coolly sits, and judges the sins of the sinner by the depths of his counsel's wits.
More Swinburne?
No, I wrote that.
Well, the cocktails are good.
Thanks. Darling,
Not your lady of pain.
But have you ever loved anybody?
I'm going to Europe with you.
Oh, I know. A suite on A deck. Deauville casinos, the Paris shops, where the lover thrown in as icing for the cake. But did you ever feel anything with your heart? Has there ever been anybody in your life you loved who could make you happy, who could make you cry? Well, I want you to love me that way. I'm going to make you love me that way.
Why that way?
Because I need it. That's my soul, to be loved. Without it, I'm just part of these books, words, tricks, schemes, a walking, breathing machine for outwitting the law. So I'm a little bit like Dracula. No life in me. So I need someone else's soul.
You've had that, Miss Carmen Brown.
I know why. Why talk of past love? There's nobody in the world but us. We'll be on a boat tomorrow. Love me. You must love me.
I do.
I adore you.
What is it? Sorry, sir. Your office on the telephone.
I told you I wasn't in.
I'm very sorry, sir. I took the liberty. They said it was most important.
Be picking out the cabins, darling. I'll be right back.
It's Miss Brown. She said she would kill herself. She spoke of a telegram she sent you. This must be it, sir. She sounded most desperate, sir.
Get out. Hello, Carmen.
Oh, Lee, what are you trying to do to me?
Darling.
How can you humiliate me like this?
Carmen, now wait.
Telling all those people you aren't in.
Carmen.
Servants, office boys.
Now, Carmen.
I haven't slept in 3 nights.
Carmen,
Lee, I've got to see you.
What about?
I'm coming right over.
Carmen, don't.
I'm sick of your lies. Lee, I'm desperate. I'm in pieces. I've got to see you.
No, I'm coming right over.
Never mind. Never mind. Goodbye.
Carmen. Hello? Carmen. Hello? Well, that was a gentleman named McClintock. Stole $1 million from the government and wants me to keep him out of jail.
I just bought you a bridal suite.
Well, I suppose I'll have to find some friendly judge. Nuisance, isn't it?
Do you have to go right away?
The court's closed at 5. I'll drop you on the way. Do you mind?
No. I've got a lot of packing to do.
And tomorrow? Tomorrow we're off on the seas of rapture for the islands of desire.
Tomorrow.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Not wavering?
No. My mind's quite made up.
And your heart?
My heart, too. Your gardenia's with us. Better have a fresh one to impress the judge.
Who is it? Who is it? Well?
I'm delighted to see you in such good health. A little too much rouge, perhaps, for to leap out of the window. Or just what was your plan? Your telegram was a little vague. Lee, I'll be waiting here until 4 o'clock. If you are not here by then, the comedy is finished. Carmen. You should have signed it Pagliacci. I never thought you'd stoop to threats of suicide. I thought you were too real, too proud for that.
You devil. You devil!
If you want me to listen to you, no hysterics.
So clever, aren't you? I can't believe that anyone could be so low. I can't believe it, I can't believe it.
Stop that yelling.
You couldn't come and tell me like a human being that you were through with me, that you didn't love me anymore. No. You had to use that brilliant legal mind of yours to dirty me, working up a big case of jealousy, putting ads in the paper so you could catch Eddie White in my dressing room. Oh, how cheap.
What are you talking about? What ads? Oh, I understand. I did it, not you. I lured Eddie at your side. I kept the rendezvous with him at 612 West 59th. I'm the villain. Go on.
You met Eddie White outside of my dressing room before you saw me. You talked with him.
That's not even worth denying.
Buster saw you.
That bird brain.
The doorman called you up the minute Eddie arrived. I found that out. You flew over so you could pull that cheap, rotten acting, frame me like a pickpocket and accuse me.
At least take it off the hook. There's enough noise in the room now.
Hello? Oh. Your office.
Tell them I'm not here.
Mr. Gentry's not here.
Thank you.
Lee. We've been in love for 2 years. It's been more than just an affair, hasn't it? It's been so sweet. Loving you wasn't enough. You wanted me to adore you, to be your soul. I was. I am. You can't leave me now, Lee. Tell me the truth.
There's nothing to tell.
Oh, yes, there is. You wouldn't have tried to hurt me like this unless there was some reason. You're too nice for me.
Oh, no, please, Carmen, let's not torture each other.
Lee, tell me about her.
Who?
If you told me about her, I'd have a chance. Give me that chance.
Nobody, I tell you. Now stop it, Carmen.
You've been lunching with her at the Royal Hotel. The orchestra leader plays her afternoons. He saw you.
He's a liar.
Cheap little blonde. Empty as a paper bag. All she wants is what you've got, not you. Lee, you can't love a woman like that, not you.
What are you talking about?
Katie Costello.
I'm not going to listen to any more.
You're going to hurt the Royal Hotel. Well, go on. Go to her. I'm going too.
You're not going near her.
You're in love with her.
Yes. I'm telling you my right name finally. I love her. I love her. And I'm leaving you.
I don't want to live. I want to die. They'll fix you for it. They'll find me dead and fix you. I loved you. I was good. You fooled me. You fooled me.
You're not going to do anything, you understand? Now don't behave like an imbecile. I've got it, and I'm going to keep it.
Oh, my head. You shot me. Go to her. She's waiting for you. You won't love her so much.
Carmen.
Miss Brown. You want me to clean your place now, Miss Brown?
No. Back.
Carmen.
Come on, Gentry. Let's have the truth. Accident, eh? You know you were leaving her for Katie Costello.
Murder. Premeditated murder in the first degree.
Murder. You had tickets on the boat.
Carmen tried to stop you. You killed her.
Gentlemen of the jury, a clear case of premeditated, cold-blooded murder. Hold the jury.
Where is that legal brain of mine?
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty. Now give me a little help. Come on. Don't be one of our nervous clients leaving a trail of clues behind a yard wide. What are you afraid of? We've always won. Give me a case and we'll win again. There's water in the rosy. You gave Carmen that little plaything. You'd better take it along. About the clock. It was a good witness for Mr. York. You don't have to put a bullet in it this time. Stopped at 4:15, the exact moment of the murder. How very convenient, since your office called at 4:10 and Carmen said you were not here. Better answer. Someone may have heard the shot and reported it downstairs. Change your voice.
Hello? Who is this calling, please? Buster? This is just a friend. No, she's busy. I'll tell her you called. Miss Buster Malloy. Goodbye.
So much the better. Now we have proof there was a stranger here. The gardenia. Katie said it might impress the judge. There's no time for sentiment over her. Aren't you forgetting something? There's a little piece of paper on that table. A telegram sent you at 2:07 this afternoon. How easy mistakes are made. That might have sent you smack to the chair.
It's working. Press the button. Get the elevator boy out of the lobby. Now down the stairs. Easy. The switchboard operator. We'll have to wait till somebody rings. There's a phone on the desk, outside the door. It rings the bell. Put a telephone book under the receiver. Use it, quick. Now we face unseen dangers, the unpredictable witness, the aimless human stray in the window on the street who saw the defendant leave the scene of the crime. Wait until that stray goes by.
Now let's see where we were between 3 o'clock and 4:15.
One downstairs, please. Usher.
Please wait in line.
Usher, I've lost a pair of gloves.
Where were you sitting?
That lady's taking my place now. Thank you. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I left a pair of gloves behind. Now, they don't seem to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Where's the lost and found department?
On your right.
Thank you. I'm sorry to make such a fuss about a pair of gloves. but I just bought them.
If they turn up, we'll keep them for you. What's the name, please?
Lee Gentry.
Lee Gentry? You won't have to call. I'll send them over to your office. How'd you like the picture, Mr. Gentry?
Very interesting. 4:30. Is it that late? That's quite an efficient system. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Give me a Panatello, will you please?
Panatello, yes.
Yeah. Got some matches. You bet.
Listen, Mr. Gentry, I ain't got much time. I only came because you said it was serious. What is it? Another third degree about Carmen? If so, you can save your breath. I'm no matter harried.
You never liked me, Buster.
I didn't come here to exchange personalities, Mr. Snoops.
Where's Carmen?
Oh, where do you suppose?
No, she's not. Buster, there's something going on. Has she told you anything?
No, I ain't hardly seen her this week.
Well, I've been trying to get her on the telephone for 3 days. Buster, I'm desperate. I'm all in pieces.
You mean she's washed up with you? Well, I'm very glad to hear it. It's about time. I wouldn't let any man make a fool out of me the way you have her, no matter how brainy he thought he was.
Buster, when did you talk to her?
Called. So that's what was going on. Am I dumb? Listen, Mr. Gentry, the way you've been behaving, I got no pity for you whatsoever. Any girl with self-respect would do just what Carmen's done.
Well, you say you called her. What did she say?
I didn't get to talk to her. She was occupied.
Well, who did you talk to?
Listen, Mr. Gentry, I'm Carmen's friend, not yours.
I'm desperate, I tell you. Who was it?
I'll tell you who I talked to.
Who?
A gentleman, that's who.
You're lying.
So you say.
A man, in her room.
Take it easy, Mr. Snoops. He's probably gone by this time.
What time did you call? Tell me.
Right after the 4 o'clock rehearsal, when he shouldn't go up.
At 4:15, eh? Well, who was the man that answered the phone? Eddie White?
No, it wasn't Eddie White. It was a very sweet, charming voice, unlike yours.
Buster, you can help me.
Don't make me laugh. My lips chapped. Goodbye.
Mr. Matthews? Casey, Mr. Matthews? Casey, Mr. Matthews?
I beg your pardon.
Lost something?
I dropped it somewhere else. I remember now.
No, Mr. Gentry, she doesn't seem to be in.
In case Miss Brown comes in, tell her to wait for me. I'm coming right over.
Hey, Gentry, just a minute. Just the man I want to see.
Hello, Grant.
What's the matter? I never saw you afraid of a district attorney before.
I'm in a hurry.
Well, I won't keep you long. Only 3 or 4 hours.
What's this, may I ask?
The grand jury wants to ask you a few questions. You didn't think you were going to get away with that manufactured evidence about the bullet and the clock that you introduced at our last meeting. I took the trouble to present the matter to the proper authorities.
I see. You know, you sometimes make up for your stupidity as a prosecutor, Mr. O'Brien, by these outbursts of civic virtue. However, the grand jury will have to wait till tomorrow. I have an appointment.
I know what day of the week it is this time, Mr. Gentry. Friday. This is a subpoena. And you're served right here and now.
Call a cab, Lieutenant.
I have a car outside. A big blue one.
Not the wagon, I hope.
That may come later.
Do you mind driving down the way of 49th Street? I have an appointment with the lady.
Not at
I'd
all.
like to make my apologies.
Miss Brown isn't back yet.
I'll leave a note. There's a telephone in the office. It's more private there.
This'll do.
Grand jury room, please. O'Brien speaking. Oh, Franklin? O'Brien. Can you get to that Gentry matter tonight? I just located him. Yeah, okay. Be right over.
I'll take the note up myself.
Well, we got a step on it.
Okay. I've dropped something.
It rolled over there.
My lucky piece.
More this way, I think.
It went through the door.
You're crazy.
I heard it.
I've got it. So it was behind the door, eh? You heard it.
Thanks.
And what's more, you've got a green tie on.
I've been unfair to you, Norton. You're a great detective. Is that all, gentlemen?
I think so.
Well, better luck next time, boys. Well, this was nice of you, Miss Keeley.
I was so worried about you.
Oh, come along. You think they would indict me?
It was the Bar Association passing those resolutions. Your own profession. It isn't worth it, Mr. Gentry. Can't you give up this sort of practice? You could be anything in the world you wanted.
Well, thank you for liking me, Miss Keeley.
You're the nicest man I ever knew.
What are you staring at?
You.
Was I lowing, darling?
No,
You like my dress?
I don't know.
What's the matter, Lee?
Nothing.
What is it?
Well, can't you hear them?
What?
The Furies outside the window, scratching at the panes, howling.
You gone crazy?
I don't know.
I'm afraid you're making me angry. Lee, I'm not used to being treated like this. I'm not one of your chorus girlfriends. Nor am I any cheap little Carmen Brown.
Don't say that name.
Why not? Has she become sacred in the last hour?
She was good. I killed her.
What are you talking about?
I killed her. This afternoon.
It isn't truly. Lee!
I killed her.
That's what you meant when you told me you'd get rid of her.
Katie.
And you could come here to me?
Katie.
Don't touch me.
Nothing would happen. There's proof that it wasn't me. A courtroom full of proof.
Oh, why did you tell me? Why didn't
you might have said something without meaning to about my getting rid of her. Now you won't see anything. I know you're a tidy soul. Katie, we'll go away. We'll forget. We'll be happy.
No, you're horrible. Horrible.
Darling, Katie.
Gary. Oh, my.
Katie, it was for you. Katie, I love you.
I don't love you enough.
Katie, pity me. Katie.
Congratulations, my lovesick client. Why not smile at the irony of this little scene? The lovely lady for whose sake you committed murder, the motive, walks out of your life and makes your case, as always, perfect, complete. Leave her alone. Let her go. It's a delicious case. Watch. Your Honor, a gentleman of the jury, we have traced my client's steps minute by minute on the day of this horrible crime. We know, you know, the state knows who murdered Carmen Brown. A man with a pleasing, a charming voice, utterly unlike the defendants who spoke to Miss Malloy a few minutes after the murder. A gentleman. There is one great fact of evidence against my client on which the state has pounded again and again. That he was jealous of Edward White. Gentlemen, it is true. But he was jealous of the wrong man. And that man stole into poor, faithless Carmen Brown's room that afternoon and murdered her. In a twinkling, the police, with their customary genius for error, had made up their minds. Who was the guilty man? Lee Gentry. And where was this guilty man when the news that Carmen Brown lay dead came to him? Sitting in the El Bravo Cafe, his heart hungry with love, waiting for his Carmen to come out dancing that he might smile at her, win her back, whom he thought he had lost to Edward White. Waiting. Waiting. Only hurry.
Good evening, Mr. Gentry. Mighty glad to see you.
Half an inch, if you please.
All right.
Well, Mr. Lee Gentry, don't tell me you're going to snub me twice in one day.
Oh. Hello, Della.
Hello.
How are you? Didn't recognize you. You're blonde now.
Yes, how do you like it?
Very becoming. Last wine?
No, thank you. I'm with a new boyfriend, and he's jealous.
I say, Della, what you mean I snubbed you twice today? I didn't see you anywhere today.
Oh, yes, you did. Looked right through me and gave me the high hat. I guess it was the new platinum effect.
Where was that?
In front of the Palace Theater.
Where?
Why, yes. I was waiting for the boyfriend in the lobby. I didn't recognize you for a minute. You had your face covered or something. I thought, uh-oh, Mr. Gentry's being naughty, meeting somebody after school hours. Better be nice to me or I'll tell Carmen Brown.
I didn't see you. About 3:30, wasn't it?
3:30 my eye. It was 4:30.
Better get your watch fixed.
Well, Smarty, it happens I had a date with a boyfriend at 4:30 and broke my neck to get there on time.
You're mistaken. Leave the Palace Theater until 4:45.
I'll say you did. You came bouncing out 10 minutes after you went in while I was still standing there.
You're crazy, Della.
Well, I could swear it on a stack of Bibles. Ask the boyfriend. I said to him, well, there's in again, out again, Finnegan. We figured you'd been stood up.
All right.
have seen me coming out. She never saw me going in.
Why, you had your handkerchief in front of your face just like it is now. And, let's see. You were wearing that same speckled tie.
That's a lie.
Well, it's none of my business, I suppose, Mr. Gentry. But I don't care to be called a liar.
No. Now, Della. Della, listen to me. I want to talk to you.
I don't wish to be insulted. If you have some reason to say you came at the Palace Theater at 3:30 instead of when you did come there at 4:30, it's all right with me. I don't see what you're making such a big situation of it for. I don't care what you're up to. I'm not Carmen Brown.
Darling. Darling.
There's Carmen.
Nobody come inside.
The doc's in there now.
What did he shoot her for?
He's jealous. I heard she was two-timing him.
Oh, Carmen, you're crazy.
Come on, break it up here, you kids. Break it up. Come on.
Can't we see her?
Just for a minute, Billy.
Have the cops got Gentry yet?
Come on, scram, scram.
You please, Mr. Valley, you seem to be all right.
Hop down and tell Pancho to cut out the music for her spin. We don't want her falling on her nose.
No, you're talking to him, Carl.
All he cares about is the story in tomorrow's paper.
Listen, Doctor, she was unconscious for 3 hours. Carmen, you can't go on.
Well, how is it, kid?
I ain't gonna let her go on.
That's all right. Why won't show at all?
Supposing she breaks down and faints.
There's no particular danger. No concussion.
Go away, everybody. Let me alone.
He meant to kill her. He thought he'd done it, too.
Come on.
He had me over there trying to frame up some kind of an alibi. Talk about liars.
She knows what she wants to do.
Carmen, please don't go on.
Don't worry about me. Dancing is good for me. Cheers me up.
Well, what's going on here?
He's drunk or crazy or both. First he calls me a liar, then he begins mauling me, telling me I should go with him and get a lot of diamonds and fur coats.
Oh, he did, eh?
Now, you keep out of this, White. This is between me and Della.
How are you?
Don't hit him, Eddie. He's drunk.
Yeah? He wasn't drunk the last time he stepped between me and a girl. He wants to do it again, eh?
Come on, sweet.
Let her go, you punk.
Lieutenant, get him to pose.
Who does he think he is?
Take the handkerchief away, Gentry. You didn't used to be so bashful.
Come on, you used to like posing. I'll lose my job if I don't get a picture.
Wait outside, will you? Well, Gentry, we're getting to be old friends. It'll be tough framing an alibi this time. The Mexican peso. Your lucky piece, eh? How did it happen, Lieutenant?
It's a clear case, Mr. O'Brien. He was jealous of this fellow, White, and set out to murder him. Hired the doorman at the nightclub to tip him off whenever White came round. He threatened White's life a week ago in front of 3 witnesses. Nearly murdered this Carmen Brown this afternoon on account of White. Tracked him to a movie house and missed him. Then he laid for him at the cafe instead. Pure jealousy. Not much left for your office to do, I'm afraid. Premeditated murder in the first degree with 1,000 witnesses.
Listen, Lieutenant, listen. We're going to press in a half hour.
Yeah, well, I'll give him a statement, Marty.
What are you waiting for? There's the gun. What have you got left? Listen to them laugh. That's the way they'll all laugh. Come on. Come on. You lived high over the heads of the crowd. They hated you because you sneered at fools and loved you because you were a champion. No, I'll only laugh. What's the use of living on, a fool, a clown, in ways dark?
Life, so sweet. Love, so bright. Say goodbye, though no one hear you. They'll say Lee Gentry was a coward. But we know better. Shh. Stop trembling. It won't hurt. Not as much as the chair. I'm the one that counts. I'm your brain. I'm your God. I give the orders. I say die. You had the courage once. Where is it gone?
That's too easy, Gentry. Besides, the state will be only too glad to do it for you.
Coward! Coward!